my name is Sarah, and today we are talking about Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. If you were not familiar with it, Crown of Midnight is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, which is an ongoing YA fantasy series that follows Celaena Sardothien, a notorious assassin. If you watched my Throne of Glass review from a few months ago, then you know that I was not really a fan of the book. It was very much hyped up for me, and as a result, I came out of the book feeling very underwhelmed by the story and the writing as a whole, and only gave the book 2.5 out of 5 stars, which is the same rating that I gave The Assassin's Blade, the set of 5 prequel novellas. However, many of you who are big fans of the series encouraged me to continue on at least through this second book, and from there make my determination about whether or not I wanted to continue with the series. Now, I am not 100% on the Sarah J. Maas train just yet, nor am I prepared to declare my love for the series as a whole. However, I am pleased to report that the second book was a vast improvement upon the first 2 books in the series, and I wound up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. The biggest thing that I feel Crown of Midnight had that Throne of Glass lacked was a focused plot. Throne of Glass felt very all over the place in terms of its story, which made it very hard for me as a reader to find things to focus on and know what was going to be important as the story progressed. Fortunately, Crown of Midnight was a vast improvement in that area, and I found that the focused plot only improved everything else about the story as well. The writing was tighter, the pacing was better, the characters were more interesting and compelling, and thank goodness we had fewer paragraph-long sections about the detailing and embroidery on Celaena's clothing. I am still not a huge fan of Celaena, but she did grow on me quite a bit in this second book in the series, and a big part of that is because I am beginning to see that there is a lot more complexity to her character than has been previously revealed in the prequel novellas and the first book. I began to recognize that much of her arrogance, which is the major character trait that drives me crazy about her, is a facade or a defense mechanism based on the life that she has lived and the person that those events she has experienced has caused her to become. But that doesn't stop me from wanting to grab her shoulders and shake some sense into her fairly often, because for being a pretty BA assassin, she manages to get herself into a number of idiotic situations. So there were many instances where I was like, girl, you are going to get yourself killed, stop being so dumb. But the general hatred and rage that I had for her in the prequel novellas and the first book was not there this time around. Chaol was my favorite character in Throne of Glass, and he is continued to grow in my love and affection in this second book. I had a feeling that there was a lot more to his character than Sarah J. Maas showed us in our interaction with him in Throne of Glass, and I was right, and I really just love who he is becoming, and I swear if she does anything to hurt him, we're gonna have issues, because I still don't trust her with my feelings after The Assassin's Blade. Dorian as a character grew on me a lot in this book as well, and a big part of that is because, like Celaena, there is a lot more complexity to his character than I previously gave him credit for in Throne of Glass, and I'm beginning to see that there is much more to him than just a spoiled prince with a crooked smile, which I am pleased to say did not make an appearance in the second book. The beginning of the book was a bit slower in terms of pacing, but it was still enough to keep my interest and keep me intrigued as to what was going to be coming. And like I mentioned earlier, the plot felt a lot more focused overall, and there were a crap ton more twists and turns and crazy things happening. So despite the slower pacing early on in the book, the story as a whole just really grabbed me and held my interest, and I was very much on the edge of my seat for particularly the latter half of the book, because holy cow, so many things happen. The biggest thing that has intrigued me about this series since the beginning is the magic system that is in this particular fantasy world with the fairies and the fae and all of that kind of stuff, and I am only more intrigued by it now that we have gotten to learn a lot more about the history of the fae and the loss of magic in the world and all sorts of other crazy things that are going down. And so even if the series doesn't continue to grow in my affection in other regards, I will probably ride it out just because I really want to know where the heck all of this is going. So overall, I very much enjoyed the book, and like I said already, it was a vast improvement on the first 2 installments in the series, and so I am quite excited to see where Sarah J. Maas is going to take things in the next couple of books, particularly with some of the major reveals that happened at the end of this second installment, because holy cow, so many big things happened in the last few chapters of this second book. Once again, I wound up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I will be picking up Heir of Fire in the relatively near future. Well, there you have it, friends. That is my review of Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. If you have read the book, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments below. If you want to follow me elsewhere online, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, all at Sarah Ann Hayes. The links for those profiles will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye! That I feel crone, that's great. It grow on me quite a bit. Oh,